Hello everyone, Luke Nukem back here once again, and for this video, there isn't going to be a snarky joke, an explosive introduction, or anything that has to do with me ranting or railing or even praising a movie that is coming out this week. I myself made posts about this on my Facebook channel, and I've also mentioned it in the beginning of the review for the latest Pixar movie, Onward. To further explain my situation and my circumstances and my predicaments that I'm going on in life, I feel like I should extend this issue and give you a special little update in regards to my channel and where would I be going forward. Perhaps about a week ago, President of the United States, Donald Trump, declared the coronavirus to be a national emergency, a global pandemic. What a coronavirus is that a coronavirus is essentially a family of viruses that could cause serious or even little common flu-like symptoms. The common symptoms from a coronavirus, especially from ages that are about 10 years of age and upwards, are essentially the common cold, flu, major coughing, and breathing problems. However, the severe cases of infection and even side effects of the coronavirus that are mostly found in the sick, the infants, and even the elderly can either cause acute respiratory syndrome, kidney failure, pneumonia, and even worse, death. Regardless of whether or not you like the President of the United States is totally beside the point. The point is that the virus itself, and to some extent the media, has caused nationwide panic, mass hysteria to take multiple citizens to take serious precaution, not only just in the United States, but in other foreign countries as well. China, Italy, the United Kingdom, France, most of Europe, and even portions of South Asia, and even major continents such as Africa, and even South America. The list is endless. And as a result, in the United States, multiple events such as Sunday services, attractions such as Disneyland and even Universal Studios, concerts, companies, and even sports games, and even seasons have all been canceled and delayed indefinitely. And not only does it affect everyone in the United States, but it also affects my life as well. I'm being forced to move out of my university apartment and take online classes for the rest of the semester. I have been put on leave from my job until they rehire me again and the business is back and running. So I have no job, no housing, and online classes to deal with without having any sign of what is going to happen in the foreseeable future. And yes, since I'm an aspiring film critic, this also applies to films as well. Movies such as A Quiet Place 2, Black Widow, the live-action remake of Mulan are being put on hold. Fast and the Furious 9 is not being released until next year, and even movies like No Time to End This Franchise for the Greater Good Die is being released 5 days after the release of Godzilla vs. Kong in November. So what does this all mean? Well, it looks like from the grand scheme of things, we won't be getting nationwide released movies until late April or mid-May. There's also an announcement that some movies are being released in VOD streaming, such as Trolls World Tour for $19.99, which in fact is actually much more expensive than buying an individual ticket for a movie, let alone an IMAX ticket. Now, while it does sound like the future to some degree, trust me, this is only a temporary usage by film companies. Most movies and production companies survive because of the maximum sales of ticket sales in movie theaters. And let's say if you wanted to go buy a chance to rent Trolls World Tour to watch with your entire family, the movie would not earn enough money to keep its studio and even the entire company alive and kicking. Hence why theaters are especially important, because it allows movies to find their success and succeed in the market and earn their reputation, as well as offering moviegoers fantastic experiences. Can you imagine in a hypothetical scenario in 2019, if the United States had the coronavirus and we had to watch Avengers Endgame, Frozen 2, Joker, and even other movies like 4v Ferrari and VOD streaming? Those movies would not earn their incredible reputation and even their box office records that they currently have right now. But that's going to be an epic debate for another time. If the virus continues to get worse and worse as time goes on, then boy howdy are we going to end up in an event similar to I Am Legend and Contagion. Okay, maybe it's not that extreme, but still. The coronavirus has also affected YouTube channels, students, employees, including industries themselves, and now everyone is being stuck at home wondering what else to do. So, in order to compensate for all this outbreak delay, here are some of my ideas that I have particularly thought of for my channel moving forward. Before you ask, yes, you will see reviews coming out of me from films of 2020, but not until the virus ceases its course and we go back to living a normal life. For the time being, I'm planning on doing a movie review for some of my favorite films of all time, such as Children of Men, and even my favorite animated movie of all time, 9. I've also thought of doing a video series of movies that I have loved personally and have loved continuously, and some movies that I feel are unjustly maligned. This also applies to movies that I think are overrated or even films I absolutely hated. And as a matter of fact, it could also apply to movies that are guilty pleasures. Maybe a retrospective series of a popular particular franchise I love, maybe a list of some of my favorite characters of all time, and maybe a list of some of my favorite movies of the decade. And maybe if I'm bored and I have nothing else to do on my spare time, I'll basically do what every film fanatic or film critic does and basically makes a Blu-ray collection video. These are just a few ideas that I have thought of going on in my head, but it ultimately boils down to answering one singular question. Where do I even start? I'll think about it sooner or later if the virus continues to get worse and continues its course. Now, I as a person may not be the best person when it comes to giving advice to people, but the only thing I do have to say is this. Be very careful. Take care of yourself by washing your hands on a regular basis. And be sure to stay at home with those people who don't have the virus. We don't know how this thing is going to end, whether it ends early or it's going to end longer than anticipated. Hope is on its way for everyone. Heck, multiple countries are creating vaccines to cure the virus themselves. Heck, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people who have already been cured from the virus. But the bad news is that the thing is still at large, and we don't know how this thing is going to cease. Only time will tell when things get better. We just have to pray and hope. Anyway, that's all I have to say at the matter. I'm not going to end it like I normally do at every other video where I use my fire powers and throw it at you guys knowing that you've been blown away. Instead, I'm just going to end it like this. My name is Luke Nukem. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.